Okay, good morning. It's Friday morning and we are in Cincinnati in the rain once again. Every time I come to Cincinnati on Friday, it seems like it rains, but it's okay. I picked up a load here that goes to Georgia for Monday. So we'll stop at the Blue Beacon in Knoxville if the rain's cleared up. Get the truck cleaned up, take her to the driveway, park it at the house. I hope my camera's straight. I had it on there and then I hit it right before I started the video, so I have that app on the phone, but
continue 8 miles on I-75 south.
That would require me to look at the phone and mess with it, so hopefully it's straight. If not, the footage will be crooked and you guys will be going down the road sideways like this, like in the Upper Peninsula. Woo! What hasn't been too bad of a week. We went through the house last weekend, stopped at the house on Saturday, had to leave out on Sunday because we had to take a load to Texas. Took that load to Texas, and then we hung out in Texas for a day and a half at the Petro there in Beaumont. Yeah, Beaumont. Picked up a load there in Orange, Texas. They went to up here next to Cincinnati. Dropped it off yesterday evening. I picked this load up going to Georgia for Monday. So everybody likes to ask me. It's not really maybe like, okay, Tim, slow. A lot of guys have a hard time understanding my redneck southern accent, so I will try to speak as plain and clear as possible. I think the biggest thing is I like to talk too fast. A little side note is my doctor, when I was born, I was tongue-tied. And the doctor, he was a rough old doctor. He grabbed my tongue and ripped it up, broke it loose instead of cutting it surgically, cutting the, and so it's still tied a little bit. I can't. I have very little movement. I should probably go get that cut, but the doctor said I would never speak plainly. I would always stutter. Guess we showed him. So the way I pronounce a few words is off, and my language is, well, I'm born and raised in Tennessee, you know. You should hear some southern Georgia or southern Alabama people talk. You think I'm bad, but anyway, back on topic. I get sidetracked a lot. A lot of guys, what was we talking about? Asked me, well, I get lots of questions. Miles per gallon, how I chose what. Anyway, we are not going to do our Q&A today, but while I'm driving, but I thought I'd make a little driving clip driving through Cincinnati, this jacked up city. I came across the bridge a while ago and it took me an hour to go 10 miles. And I left the truck stop at 7 this morning thinking that I'd beat some of the traffic. Well, that was a mistake. They got all that road construction downtown, and crossing the bridge there on 71, 75, it's down to the lane split. They got the middle lane shut down for construction, and so it's just a bloody nightmare. And then 275 was closed at US 50, so yeah, just a fun morning. But anyway, so give you a little bit of background on myself without really getting into the Q&A session. Speaking of Q&A session, we only have like 4 or 5 questions at the moment, which are good questions. Maybe we could do some more, I don't know. So I'm just going to start with my 18-wheeler career. I'm not going to get into my lumber yard deliveries, my Coca-Cola deliveries, my potato chip route deliveries I did for 5 years, the grocery store business, which is one of the reasons I got into trucking. I was working for a supermarket chain, and they had their own fleet of trucks, and I was married at the time, had a couple of step kids plus my kid. They were all 3 in a Christian private school. So I was going to go driving for them, the grocery chain, driving their day cabs, delivering their groceries. So I went to a local community college to get my CDL, which I recommend that route versus these 14-day training schools for $5,000. They don't teach you nothing. Community college is like $600, and it's a 11-week course, 3 days a week, 8 hours a day. They teach you something, right? Anyway, you have to do that to get a driving job, pretty much. So I went to go to school, got my license to drive for them. That did not work out. I had obligations to meet with the kids in private school. So I went over the road with Ozark Motor Lines in the year 2000. And I ran over the road for Ozark for 2 years. Loved it. Now, about a year of that wreaked havoc on the marriage, and that ended that. Plus, it just wasn't a good fit to begin with. We only married a year, and man, was that, whoo, that was a rough one. But anyway, so I tried to go more regional with Ozark to be home more for my son, because I located him with my sister for a few months until I could work out some job arrangements. So I went to Everett Express, and that worked out about 6 months, because Everett liked to starve me to death. They get you home every weekend, but Monday through Wednesday you didn't really do much, and then they'd give you 2,000 miles to run from Wednesday to Friday to get you back home, you know? Like I could be in Atlanta, they'd send me all the way to Detroit and back to the house, you know, or they just do stupid crap. But anyway, Everett Express did not work out for me. So I looked into another local job there at the house called Ocoee River Transport. Little mom and pop operation. They had, I don't know, maybe 20 local trucks that ran Coca-Cola. Little short 60, well, my 85-mile trips one way. We'd run 3 of those a day if we were lucky. Sometimes just 2, sometimes just 1. But anyway, we'd run the Coca-Colas from Coke plant to Coke plant. And I worked there for 2 years, and the first year I did that, and I was home every day. And we were home by, noon every day. It worked out really good. We'd start at 6, get off at noon or 1 or 2, depending on if we run 3 loads. So that worked out really good for a year for my son. And as it turned out, though, he had just turned 18, and me being home every day after being an over-the-road truck driver for 2.5 years, he didn't like it. Dad being home, being in charge, so he didn't like the rules and lost his freedom. So he got mad, packed his bags, and moved out. So then after that, I went to running the same company, Ocoee River Transport. We ran team in one of these. Back then it was a 379 Peterbilt to LA and back, picking up produce. And that was a pretty good job. That was a salary job. We ran two trips to LA and back a week. And is that right? 2 weeks? So we left out on Monday, back Wednesday. Yeah, 2 weeks. So, you know, not bad. Not a bad little gig, except for the picking the produce up. We'd have 6 or 7 drops. So the day you're in California really was brutal. But anyway, after that, I got a job with First Fleet doing the Peyton account, which is the non-union side of Kroger, and delivering Kroger grocery stores, and did that job for 7 years, and thought I loved that job. But you know, running local, yes, you're home every night. I mean, there were probably 1 or 2 nights I'd spend the night on the road. Just a 10-hour break, you know, and get up and then come on into the house. They'd pay you for the layover and whatnot. So it was a good paying job, you know, decent paying for a local gig. And you're able to cut your own grass and shower in your own shower and sleep in your own bed. Now, you know, looking back on it, it was a hard job just doing, you know, 10 or 12-hour breaks at home. At time, I only lived 4 miles away from where I worked, but the time you went home and cut the grass or ate dinner or grabbed a shower and tried to grab some sleep and then get up and shower and go back to work, it was pretty challenging, you know. So I'm not going to tell you why I left there and why I bought this. There's a long story with that. But anyway, so during all those, I'm going to say that's what, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, during that 11.5-year period, I always crunched the numbers on being an owner-operator. And I always, you know, I crunched those numbers ever since I was at Ozark. So I kind of knew what an owner-operator was all about, and crunched the numbers and ran the numbers, and I'm like, it did not make sense, you know. I mean, I could do better as a company driver, and so I stayed company. And let me emphasize on that just a moment. These companies, these mega fleets, we'll use Ozark because I worked there. I'm not going to name off all the other companies that mega carriers, okay? Ozark is a real nice outfit. Love Ozark. I don't know if they changed or not, but if I ever had to go back over the road as a company, I'd probably choose Ozark. But anyway, and these roads are rough. So you cannot own one of these trucks, especially a truck like this one, and lease onto a mega carrier that wants to pay you, let's just say $1 per mile plus fuel surcharge. You cannot do it. Yes, they are guys doing it, and that's the guys that don't understand how I can afford this. Stay over there, CRST. They don't understand how I can afford this and buy what I do, you know. CRST, I can't help you, bud. You should have been paying attention. Lane management is a key to trucking. You have to know what lane you need and be able to look far enough, look at him. See, he could have got in behind me, but he wants to be typical. Anyway, so yeah, you can't drive one of these and make any kind of money. I mean, yes, a lot of people are doing it. I don't know how they're doing it. But anyway, I always crunch those numbers, you know, and so I knew when the time came, if it ever did, where I was going to go. But no, I'm not going to mention that name. You guys can see where I'm at, and I'd rather you not say it in the comments, you know. I'd rather you leave that out of the comments section. I don't like these guys. If I wanted them to know, I would tell them, you know. The only reason you guys do know is because I don't know how to blur it out of the videos, you know. So someone's going to ask, well, where is it? Well, don't tell them, guys, in the comments. Let them.
1 miles.
They can figure it out for themselves. They're big boys, you know. Let them go watch the videos and figure it out. Anyway, so I knew when it came time to become an owner-operator, if I ever made that decision, where I was going. And that's where I'm at now. And I mean, because you just cannot haul that cheap freight, you know. A lot of guys are going to say, well, this carrier I'm leased to, the percentage they make, if I had my own authority, I could say haul freight for $2 a mile or $1.80 a mile. Yes, that is correct. But at the end of the day, it's the same as what I'm doing now. Say if I'm doing $2.70 a mile, it's the same as $2 a mile freight with my own authority. So why not stay where I'm at, keep making these good rates, reaping the benefits of the massive fuel discounts, tire discounts, and them handling my permits, and of course I'm doing my own license plate and my own fuel taxes. But the point is, I couldn't do any better with my own authority. It would take years to get built up doing my own authority, because if I start up tomorrow with my own authority, I gotta haul cheaper freight, because brokers are not gonna recognize me and load me with a good rate. They're gonna say, oh, well, you're brand new to trucking, we're only gonna pay you $1.25, even though load normally pays $1.75, so you gotta pay your dues. And I might venture out on my own authority one day. You can't ever tell. He's getting too close to me. So anyway, I got all sidetracked on that topic. Anyway, so I going in, I knew who to lease to. Well, okay, guys, it's no big secret, you know. I mean, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, so difference in an owner-operator and lease purchase driver. Lord have mercy. Now I'm going to tell you, if you did not go to the dealership and pick out your truck, and the truck does not have your name on the title, and you did not go secure your own financing through a bank or credit union or the manufacturer, you are not an owner-operator, okay? If you are a lease purchase driver and you're driving, you're leased to a company that you got their truck from, and you are paying them $900 a week to drive their truck, and that truck still has a 62-mile-an-hour governor on it, and it's still, title is in their name. Pretty much you are paying them to drive their truck. That's my opinion of that. Now, I've never worked for those companies. I've never been through have never been through their little brainwashing scheme. But my take on it is that it's a racket. You are paying them to drive their truck, and you're clearing $300, $600 a week, thinking you're doing something because you supposedly have more control. And I don't see it, guys. So I don't know where the thrill of that is. You know, I mean, I think they talk a pretty good game, like convincing you guys to do it. But that's my 2 cents on that. If you didn't go to the dealership, pick out your truck, secure your own financing and insurance, and your name's on the title, well, you are not, in my opinion, an owner-operator. So, that's a little bit about my background, I think. Jimmy T, I'm sorry if my head's making you dizzy. Try closing one eye, brother, or looking away from the monitor, or just listen to my rant, you know. Anyway, if you guys have any more questions about that, I'd be willing to answer them. That's pretty much my background and my history. And these lights that I put on my truck, if you guys saw my video of spruced up a little, sprucing up the truck, you know, I added some lights. And now all that stuff I added was for safety, because you know, my turn signal, now when I put that turn signal on, cars can they see it and they pay more attention. They're like, oh. And when I get that one on the mirror, it'll really make a big difference. It's not on there yet because I called Peterbilt, find out if I had to run the wires all the way to the front turn signal. They said no, the truck was pre-wired from the factory for the lights to hang off the mirror. So that is fantastic. The drawback to that is they got to have their laptop to reprogram the computer so they will work. So I will eventually have them put those on if I ever have to go to the shop for anything. Got 48,121 miles on it, and she's running great. So I may just have to schedule a shop appointment just for that light, and reprogram my brake lights. They come on with a Jake, which I've already paid them to
onto I-71 South.
I've already paid them to reprogram that. They're still doing it. So anyway, so the lights that I put on there were more for visibility. You know, looking cool in the process was just a side benefit. You know, that was not the purpose. Purpose was functionality. You know, and the mud flaps, the front fender mud flaps, the little factory mud flaps, the rocks and the road debris and grime was beating up my battery box on this side and the DPF cover on that passenger side. So the longer mud flaps for the front fenders was more functionality, and the mud flaps on the rear was because of the was because of the lights and the mud flap hangers, and I didn't like the Rush Peterbilt mud flaps. So while I was changing the hangers, I changed the mud flaps. And the trailer mud flaps is for safety as well, because those little cheesy great name mud flaps would allow rocks to fly up and hit cars. So I'm protecting new cars for you. But anyway, that's how we did all that. It wasn't for just because I like spending money on pretty stuff, even though I can spend money on pretty stuff. So I hope you guys are enjoying this traffic jam. I did this coming up this morning, you know. Same crap. Lose an hour each direction. But anyway, so yes, not really do the Q&A, but a lot of guys ask me how often I get home. I guess they think with a truck of this caliber, I have to stay here and work. Well, that's just not true, man. I mean, I live in a really good spot. I run north and south, so I book freight like right up here. I picked this load up here in Cincinnati that goes down there south of Atlanta for Monday. Well, dadgummit, my house is right between the two, so I'll be in my driveway at 4 o'clock this evening, and I'm not going to leave my driveway till Monday morning. And so I've got a date with a Harley. Go home and get the hog out of the barn, dust her off. I ain't rode it since spring, I think. You know. So we'll take the Harley out.
Drive 7.1 miles on I-71 South.
You mean crawl 7.1 miles? Cause we ain't driving. Anyway. So that's that, I guess. I don't know if I got anything else. Without getting into the Q&A session, but give you a little bit of history about me, and let's see if you got any questions from that. We'll go deeper, okay? And I think getting into the truck, why I chose this truck and why I stayed into trucking was getting into the Q&A. So we'll save that conversation for the Q&A. All right, we'll catch you guys later. Hope you enjoyed the background info and this traffic jam in Cincinnati. I'm back quiet. You guys give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and we'll see you guys. So I ain't got tongue tied there. We will see you guys on the next one. Now, there's a Dodge Charger behind me, or a Challenger, one of those new ones, and he's got that chameleon paint job on it. Looks like a man, I'm having a rough time with this gearbox this morning. Looks like he's got a little bit of purple sheen on it. Maybe he'll come up beside me here in a little bit. Maybe on the next traffic jam, we will give you guys, some of you guys asking me about, yeah, here he comes, here he comes. Yeah, it's like a blue. It's like a blue and a purple. And there's the phone. We'll catch you guys later. I cannot remember where I left that video off in Cincinnati was about becoming an owner-operator. I've been an owner-operator now for 4 years. I think I forgot to mention that. It's been 4 years now. August will be my 4th year anniversary with this carrier. And I didn't start out with one of these. I started out in I done like all the other owner-operators. I thought it was smart buying a used 500,000 mile truck. And it cost me an arm and a leg for 3 years that I owned it, 3.5 years. Repair bills is outrageous, and maintenance costs was through the roof. So I guess knowing now, if I'd known then what I know now, I would like to start out in one of these. I don't know if you could or not. It's hard to jump into a $160,000 truck as a first time truck buyer. So a lot of guys ask me what I'd recommend. Well, I don't know, man. I guess I don't think I'd recommend. I don't recommend trucking, period. You know, I definitely don't think I'd recommend going debt for a $160,000 truck. Maybe if you started out with a used pre-emissions truck. You know, go get you an old cheap Freightliner or Kenworth or old Peterbilt. I don't know, something that pre-emissions, you know, that you can afford to fix. Start out with that, see how it goes. Yeah, it's going to have maintenance issues. It probably cost you average $1,500 a month or whatever, $1,300-1,500, which is okay. I mean, that's doable. So try that route. But I recommend, you know, anytime you buy something, unless you got the cash to go buy like a 2006 or early 2007 model truck, you can usually pick those up for $20,000 or $30,000. Probably find you a better deal than that on a Freightliner Columbia or something, and just fix it up, maintain it. You know, I recommend anybody that wants to go into owner-operator, you need the 15 to 17% down for down payment, and you also need I always recommend $10,000 in a bank account just for emergency status. You know, you get out in Phoenix, Arizona, and lose the rear end. Well, there's probably $500 to $7,500. Depends how bad they want to rape you. You know, in one semi major breakdown or minor breakdown cost you set you back $5,000 on these things. So you need the money to fall back on. You start out broke and in debt, that's a rough way to go, you know. So I recommend having a 15% down for the truck if you got to finance one, and $10,000 in operating capital, and never touch it, you know. That's what I do. Keep that $10,000 there as a cushion, and I got a $10,000 credit card limit that I'll use for my repairs. And if I have a repair, I just roll up my short shirt sleeves and get to work, dig myself out. I never carry a credit card balance. I always pay the balance off every month. But now I have zero maintenance, right? Because I got this brand new truck. So my money is even every month. Makes it easy. you know, I got zero downtime. So my checkbook's actually growing. I look cool as crap. So, you know, it's a win-win. We'll get into why we chose this truck and why I stayed in trucking, I guess, on the Q&A. So we won't get into all that here. So you guys shoot some questions through the comment section. I'll write them all down and answer your questions one at a time one day. Hopefully, well, we might push that back till next weekend. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, you guys have a great weekend. I'm going home. Jump on my Harley. Do some riding. I might do a riding video. Can never tell. So anyway, see you guys. Be careful.